Yes, sir.
Hey, Jim, how you
Yes,
doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourselves? I bet you're busy now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. As opposed to all the other time we were lollygagging. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, been there, done that. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jim, thank you for being here with us. I know you were here a few weeks back, and as you know, that this bill has gotten a lot of attention for a variety of reasons.
What bill is this again, Mr. Chairman?
This is House Bill 291. It's the
Okay.
vehicle tolls.
Okay.
Led us down a lot of different rabbit holes as far as how the how the system is working and who's paying and the post office and people not getting, it's just led to a lot of questions. And I think at some point, we've gotten to the point where a lot of that is not specifically.
Why they can't see?
Somewhere somebody needs to be muted.
I think she just did. So with that said, I don't know if there's anything that you would like to quickly add. We have spent a total of probably over 2 hours on this bill. So I'm kind of done. I do know that we have some amendments for the bill or an amendment for the bill. But I think that this, as you can see, Jim, this has led to a lot of other questions that I think, while not on the bill, are going to be things that we're going to have to, have some future conversations with. I've talked to the chair a little bit about what that might look like in the future, because it raises a lot of issues. I don't know if you want to briefly address any of those or.
Yeah, I have no problem. Be more than happy to meet with you, your subcommittee, committee, whomever, and talk over some of the issues, some of the challenges that we've had. Obviously, somewhat COVID related in many cases, and other issues related to the transition. So we're working as diligently as we can. But the key is we need to transition to our new system. As you know, we've had this same vendor for 15 years, and technology changed a little bit in over 15 years, and so transitioning is going to be better for the customer and better for the agency and the state. But I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
I think we've gone through this bill ad nauseum, so I guess unless anybody has something new to add, there is.
I just want to. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody else has their hand up. I'll wait.
Delegate Love.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm looking at the amendments, and I just want to compliment all those who worked on this, because this was a tremendous amount of work. So thank you. And to Patrick, thank you as well.
I know we talked, we already talked about the feasibility of this specific amendment, so I don't want to get into it too much. But Mr. Chairman, I know you have your hand up.
Yeah, remind me again, what's the fiscal note on this bill?
$156 million.
Wait.
Yeah, and obviously we can't take that kind of a hit, but especially now with the COVID and how it impacted traffic and stuff. So that's the key.
Yeah, and I do want to compliment the bill sponsor. We did talk a lot about the idea or the feasibility of the idea of turning this into some kind of change in the bill and to some kind of amnesty program. But as I'm sure that's
What does that mean?
we discussed that a couple of weeks ago, and that didn't seem to be the most feasible direction either. So is there a direction on this bill anywhere?
Sure, and I do want to make one other reference to give you some assurance. So you might recall that Governor Hogan made it all electronic tolling to protect our toll collectors as well as the traveling public from this invisible disease, as he referred to it. And so our board lowered the civil penalty and it was supposed to be effective July 1st. We actually backdated it to the time that Governor Hogan made the restrictions for all electronic tolling back to March 17th. So we've been almost 1 year, if you will, with a lower civil penalty in effect. So that really accomplishes, I believe, what most of what this bill does. But the problem is going back further retroactively is not only as a fiscal note, would the fiscal note be devastating to our agency, but even operationally, it would be extremely difficult. So I just wanted to give you some assurance that literally we've almost been 1 year with the lower civil penalties, and that hopefully gives you some assurance that we are trying to do our best to improve customer service.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this bill? Is there any motion on this bill?
Move unfavorable.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the unfavorable, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jim.
Okay. Thanks for your time. Anytime, just give me a holler.
Thank you.
Kumar knows where to find me.
Oh, yeah.
Now I would like to move to HB 44, the Clean Cars Act. We talked through verbally all of the amendments last week. I know Patrick has diligently been working on them. Patrick, do you have an update on where we are, what's outstanding, if there's anything left that we should discuss?
Sorry, I was muted. Just to clarify a little bit, last week we updated where we were with the amendments at that point. They've been further along, and actually, I think we have every issue that we're going to address in the amendment. If Molly has it here on page 1. If you can go down to page 3, Molly, in line 25, we add language talking about plug-in electric vehicles that are subject to registration under this title. This is addressing your motorcycle issue.
Right.
The actual light.
Which I think the bill already addressed anyway, but we want to make things like electric bikes included.
Neil, Delegate Parrott, could you, thank you.
Things like electric bikes, we don't want to be included in this.
Right.
Just road worthy vehicles, well, bikes are, but you get the point.
Right, but the manufacturers that are coming out with some of these new vehicles will be covered.
Right.
Real vehicles. Great, thank you very much.
And then line 28, on the same page, we bifurcate the price to $73,000 for trucks and $53,000 for other vehicles. This is the language I'm not quite sure is right. That's why we're gonna have to hold off on this bill until I think we're gonna try next Tuesday, Delegate.
Yeah, I think so. It looks that way. I know that the chair said that we should have a light week next week, so probably Tuesday. We may meet a couple of times depending on how the bill hearings go and what else comes up, but yes.
And then we also have on page 4 bifurcation for the fuel cell vehicles, same language, same policy. And then the last change here from last week is a sunset. Make some people comfortable. Put in a sunset for 3 years. At the last line of page 5,
Right.
to sunset the bill at the end of the program.
Okay. Okay, so the only thing that's left is just to confirm that language on the pickups, and then we're good.
Yeah, confirm that we have the right language on the pickups. You know how tricky that can be.
Yeah, that was the thing that was holding us a bit last year, just making sure we get the right policy and we get it worded right. And Chair Barve, I see your hand up. Did you have a question?
Yeah, this may be an old issue, Patrick, but when you mentioned fuel cell vehicles, I presume that the language we passed a couple of years ago prohibiting, we prohibited hydrogen vehicles that got their hydrogen from the steam reforming of methane. Does that really apply here, or was that in a different section of the code?
That was in a different section of the code. And I think we put that out like 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that wouldn't really apply to this particular legislation.
I think we did
Okay.
7 years, but I don't think it matters for this
Yeah.
conversation.
Okay, so, Mr. Chairman, do you want a motion?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, do we need the final language on the pickup, or can we just go ahead and do this?
Yeah, I thought we needed the final language
Oh,
We're going to be meeting again next
on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
No, but my question is,
Oh.
if everybody agrees in concept, we have everything but that piece, does it make sense for us to just move the bill pending that piece? Or is everybody comfortable with that, or is there?
I don't know.
folks that rather wait
I mean,
until-
I mean, maybe it makes sense. I mean, if we're gonna meet anyway, like we can, but then we would just be updating our motion, right?
Well, yeah, and then I think if we meet next Tuesday, right, Mr. Chair, we can still get it on the voting list for Thursday, as long as we get it out by Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, yes.
So it
Well, then
doesn't.
let's just vote on it Tuesday.
I think that-
And I think we're getting,
That's okay.
we're rapidly getting to a point where we're going to be voting twice a week anyway. So, it's
Okay.
more opportunities to get things onto voting lists.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions about anything that we discussed last week, that we discussed this week, that we just went over, or is everybody good with where we are? Okay, great. So let's.
Record, the money for this is in the budget.
It is, yeah. And remind everybody, this whole program has been cleared through the chair of Economic Matters, the chair of Appropriations, our chair of ENT, and all the way up the line. So let's move on to HB 480. I think it's pronounced Barve or
Yeah,
Barve.
Barve rhymes with oive.
I thought it was Barv.
Oh,
I thought it was brave.
Bravo.
so HB 480, vehicle laws, plug-in electric drive vehicles, reserve parking spaces. This is the bill that obviously is the chair's bill, and this is the one that we talked about, that some of the advocates from around the country, specifically some of the ones from California, wanted to make sure we did it differently than they did it, because the funny thing is so often we copy California, sometimes we do it a little bit differently, and they're always leading the way. And in this particular case, I got reached out to by some folks in California that said, this is the chance for Maryland to get it right, because we didn't get it quite right in California. So, and I appreciated that. I guess, Patrick, were you able to have those conversations? Are we good now with the folks that you and I to discuss?
No, not yet. In fact, you see Lanny Hartman here. I have to talk to him later today at some point.
Okay.
The basic, let me go through it real quick.
Please.
The amendments on this bill, first of all, we don't use the current law definition of plug-in electrified vehicle. We use one that was derived from one that was in Senator Lamb's bill a number of years ago and was suggested by stakeholders. And then we require that these publicly accessible electric drive vehicle charging spaces be designated by a sign and indicated by pavement markings, and that those signs and markings must be in accordance with federal law. Don't prescribe green or sizes of signs. The locals know what the federal law is on these.
Right.
So I think everything along those lines here is good. It's just getting the language down so that we can apply this to private entities. And that's still a little bit unclear here. So this, again, same posture as the clean cars, is massaging language and should be ready for Tuesday.
Great. Okay. I just wanted to call on Lanny. Lanny, I know we had a couple conversations. If there's anything specific that you want to talk about.
That's gonna be-
I'm hoping that we can find a way to make it so that, especially on public property, that we have some way to encourage them to put up the signs. Like, for example, I hate to bring this up, but in Annapolis, they actually do have a law. They enacted a local ordinance based on the chair's bill from last year, and it went into effect this summer. And the problem is that they haven't put up the signs like at Pitt Moyer. I was there fairly recently and same issue. And you can't do anything because they won't enforce it unless there's a sign. Now, who put up those stations? Well, BG&E. And I've been working with Howard County and we've changed our signs here so they are enforceable. But what we need is a standard that everybody can look at and say, well, this is a sign that we would like to see across the state, and
Okay.
for them to put them in.
Well, Molly, if you could put on our list just to reach out to BG&E, maybe a letter, Mr. Chairman, from the E&T committee to the utilities, because this committee spent a lot of time a couple of years ago working to put the utilities in a posture in which they can get into this business. They couldn't get into this business without the PSC's approval, and we put together a letter to help make that happen. So I would hope that they would be more than happy to put up some signs to make sure they comply. So we'll get on that piece. Anything else, Patrick, or any other questions about the bill? We're just waiting on that final language, right, Patrick?
Right. And I'm going to hopefully speak to Lanny later today.
Okay, that's wonderful. And Lanny, I want to thank you again for that conversation we had about a month and a half ago with California.
Absolutely.
That was like an incredible conversation. I really enjoyed it. So thank you.
Yeah. And
Lanny, I want to see a photograph of you in front of your car at the Pip Moyer Center with the sign. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I have a sign. I'll send you right away. I'm not in it, but there's a pickup truck parked there.
No, I mean when we succeed in your
Oh yes,
car and everything.
absolutely.
Then the next time you're there and there is a pickup truck there and it's not an electric pickup truck, then if you could take a picture of it being towed away too, we'd really appreciate it. We're just getting ticketed. All right, so we're going to hold this. Is there any more discussion on HB 480? No questions? Okay, so we're going to wait for that cleanup amendment and we should vote that out hopefully on Tuesday as well. Let's now move to HB 519. That is the, again, Chairman Barve's vehicle equipment safety glass replacement standards. Where are we there, Patrick?
This bill is fine. It has amendments that were worked out among the advocates. The amendments require the standards that are required under the regulations to meet or exceed original manufacturer standards and federal standards, as well as the current industry standards that are in the bill.
Great. So we don't have to worry about a windshield flying off and somebody driving down the road. Yeah, well, if they're going to be up to those standards. Okay, does anybody have any questions on the amendments? Does anybody feel the need to go specifically line by line? Or can we adopt the amendments?
Would you like me to move favorable?
That would be wonderful.
Move favorable.
Second.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the favorable motion on adopting the amendments, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. On the bill. Any
Move
questions?
favorable.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, discussion. I'm sorry, I just came in. I had a scheduling snafu. What bill are we on?
We're
This
on.
is-
Go ahead, Kumar.
I'm sorry, she was referring to you, not to me.
We're on House Bill 519, the vehicle equipment safety standards, the replacement standards for windshields.
Ah, yes, that's why the chair is here.
Yeah, so
No,
we
actually not.
adopt,
but-
yeah, so we just adopted the amendments, which were agreed to by all the advocates, so everybody's now happy. It's to my,
Good.
and now we are on the bill with a first and a second, and we're getting ready to vote on the bill as amended.
Awesome.
Okay, so all those in favor of the bill as amended, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, bill carries.
I
Congratulations.
got Neil Parrott's vote on a bill.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Good one.
a brand new world. Welcome to 2021.
Yeah. Okay, we are now on House Bill 1074. That's the Commercial Motor Vehicle Safety Inspection Performance and Inspection and Insurance information. I think that everybody remembers this bill.
Oh, yeah.
The second year we had the bill. It's one of the, it's one of those bills that every once in a while you blink and you think you're over in judiciary. when you hear a bill like this and you hear a story like this. And I
Oh,
have to
thank
say, it was one thing to hear the story, and then unfortunately, the mother of the gentleman that was killed as a result of not having a bill like this, somehow just got mixed up in the waiting room and didn't, sat around for 45 minutes until we were done. And then the chairman called on her and let her speak her story. And at any rate, we passed this bill, right, Patrick, last year?
We meant to.
And yeah, and then there
We
was.
meant to.
We were at
We
the
passed
end.
the wrong amendment.
I'm
I'm
sorry?
favorable.
Yeah, second.
Okay, are there any amendments or anything on this, or are we good,
This
Patrick?
bill is clean.
This bill is clean.
Yay!
Yay!
Second.
So all those in favor of the favorable, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Wonderful. I am so excited to pass that. Okay, and now we are making record time here. We are on our last bill, House Bill 1117. That's Delegate Arntz's bill, Kent Narrows Bridge, State Highway right of way. There are some amendments. Patrick, do you want to kind of go over?
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation. Well, first, can you just say what the bill does? Because I think I was in ECM.
Well, the bill, here it is.
I can look
The
at it.
bill just says that you can't go fishing within the state highway right of way at the Kent Narrows Bridge. The amendments narrow that to on or under Maryland Route 18, Kent Island Drawbridge over Kent Narrows. So it's not in just the right of way, it's just on the bridge, in the bridge area and under the bridge. And the opposition that testified withdrew its opposition based on the amendment.
That's what I was gonna ask. That's what I thought I remembered them saying. Okay.
Okay. Does
I
anybody
move
have?
favorable on the amendment.
Second, the amendments.
Okay. All those in favor of the favorable on the amendments signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? On the bill as amended, any conversation, any discussion?
Move the bill.
Second.
Seconded. On the bill. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Bill carries. Wonderful. All right, fellow delegates,